Hey guys, it's Cody Ahern with your weekly BIM with the BIMJAs podcast. We're here live in Arizona at the local 359 Sheet Metal Workers Apprenticeship. We got Al Blanco, we got Thom Morrison, and our owner Michael Pear. We're gonna go ahead and let Al introduce himself for you.
I'm Al Blanco. I'm the training director for the Arizona Sheet Metal Apprenticeship of Smart Local Union 359. I'm a 29-year member.
Thom Morrison, been in the trade almost 33 years now. New instructor here, geared towards the BIM side of things and technology in general.
Right on.
Yep.
So I'm Michael Pear, owner of MLP Consulting. I've worked with these guys my whole career, and being here at the apprenticeship is kind of nostalgic, man. It's just, it's cool just being back here. And these guys, like we were talking earlier, they've always had my back. I've got their back. We're a brotherhood here, so it's cool.
Yeah, Mike's brought me over here a few times, and I mean, I've shaken hands with Al and Thom, and I've worked on projects with Thom, and this guy Al here, he's a great guy. I mean, every one of his students, he's got their back. He makes sure they're taken care of. I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about him, great things about this place. If you're looking for, you know, a new career, new opportunity, you know, just want to get a job where you feel like you're important, this is definitely the place to start if you're looking for it. It's a great place, and I'm sure Al can tell you a lot more about what they offer, and we're going to get into a lot of that. I'll let him kind of go over what we're going to be talking about today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're a 5-year apprenticeship. We're earn while you learn. So I mean, you go to school and you go to work, and you're still going to get a paycheck, and you get the full medical benefits from healthcare to optical and dental for not just for yourself but for your family at zero cost. Also, we offer an excellent starting wage package. You know, today. Apprentice comes in the apprenticeship, they're going to start at $19 per hour. Wow. So that is a great opportunity, and the ability to keep moving forward with that pay. So every year you would get a pay increase until you graduate from the apprenticeship. And if you were to graduate today, your pay would be $40.82 per hour plus the healthcare package. So it's a great opportunity to start something off for your future.
Yeah, it's very awesome, and it's not just a job anymore. I mean, we have a career going. Like Al said, he's been in here almost 30 years. I'm 33 years. It's not just flipping burgers at Burger King. And it's an exciting time to be an apprentice in general. It's not just about hanging duct. As you'll see here shortly, we're embracing all the latest technology. So we'll train you in Cad, Revit, Trimble. We got robots doing stuff now. It's a very exciting time.
No doubt. It's cool. Can I tell a story? I don't know where this came from, but it just popped into my head. So we're at USAA, right? And this was, I don't know, 15 years ago? I don't know if you remember this. So after my twins were born, I got snipped, right? A vasectomy. This was on a Friday. So Monday, I come into work, and Blanco calls me up on the radio, and he's like, Mike, I need you to come out here. I'm like, dude, I'm a little sore. Can I, wait? He goes, no, dude, I need you to come out here. Do you remember this? I was like,
keep going.
I was like, all right. I was like, dude, do I really need to come out? Because I'm kind of sore. I'm sitting on peas over here, frozen peas. He's like, yeah, I need you to come out. So it's like a 1/4 mile walk to come out. He's like, you got to look at these air handlers. So I make it out there, and I'm just sweating from the pain, right? I get to Blanco. I'm like, so what's up, dude? What do you need? He goes, I just wanted to see if you'd come out.
Oh, man.
I don't remember.
That sounds like Al.
Man, Mike, you're really selling these new guys on being an apprentice here. You know? Vasectomy now.
Mike is my buddy. I don't remember that story, but if he said that, it's true.
Yeah.
But this is the camaraderie, the love we have for one another, and it don't sound like it, but there is. And I worked with Mike a lot over the years, and the times I worked with him, he is the best of the best. And for him to start his own company, that was exciting news, and be successful as he is exciting news. And for us to venture into BIM, because there was a need for BIM and personnel, because there's a shortage of BIM people. And not only do you don't have to operate the computer or the equipment, if it's the Trimble or if it's Faro 3D scanner or any other type of equipment, we got to know how to repair it. So we got to be technical and repair it, and that's what's going to set us apart from other trades or other people to keep our employment going. And there is a big need and demand for BIM guys all over the country, not just here. And if you're able to master that, you have a job for a lifetime, and you're going to be very, very successful, and you're going to make a lot of money out there in this industry. And BIM is just one aspect of what we offer. That term sheet metal worker, we have 15 different career paths you can go into. There's testing, adjusting, and balancing. There's tab. There's just being a plain sheet metal worker installer. There's service work that we do. How about foreman, general foreman, superintendent, business owner, project manager, project engineer, safety, and I could just keep going on and on.
Welders.
How many, and welding, how many jobs that we're doing. Even welding has changed over time. We're into VR, virtual reality, just like kids want to play these virtual reality games. Well, we're using that technology for teaching, and we have it here with this HoloLens helmet here from Trimble, and it's just going to keep advancing and keep getting better, and the opportunities are endless, and it's a great time for somebody that's into the technical aspect of the industry. Not only do we need to use our hands, but we got to use computers and technology.
And that's what I was alluding to too, how it's really an exciting time to be an apprentice nowadays, just to have all this technology at your disposal. And I was going to add, we don't just stop when you complete your apprenticeship. We have journeyman upgrade classes. We just did one a couple weeks ago. You know, one of our contractors was needing a call for this here Trimble, and we did an all-day class, of 5 people, and we were able to fill that call. So it's an ongoing thing, which it's continuous education, and we offer that.
So you're telling me that these 5 guys came in one day before that they didn't know how to use a Trimble, day after they did?
They did, so not, we don't teach them to master it, but
they're dangerous enough to do the points.
They were able to fill the call, and all of a sudden they were employed at doing Trimble, so it was great.
You're not going to find that value anywhere else. I mean,
That's cool.
Trimble can't even provide you with that, so that's pretty fantastic. I mean, from talking to you before we kind of got into this, Tom, it sounds like you got a lot set up for us. Be sure to check out all the videos. We're going to have 4 parts. First, we're going to come over here. We got the Trimble set up, Ferro laser scanner, basically the entire field setup. You had a name for it. What was it, Tom?
So it's a field technology center we have over here, so it's like a mobile command unit, if you will.
That's pretty cool. So that'll be part 1, and then we're going to work our way into part 2, into the actual sheet metal shop, where they have all these old school techniques that I think Al and Mike probably did back when they started, when dinosaurs were roaming the planet. So we're going to show us the old school way of doing things, since we're all stuck in our computers now. And then after that, in part 3, we're going to head over to test and balancing. They call it tab. And from there, we're going to go to the weld shop and see the virtual welder that Tom was talking about earlier. So we got a lot of great stuff coming. Be sure to check out all 4 parts. Give us a like, share the video, share the podcast, tell your friends. BIM with the BIMJAs, we're looking forward to it. Mike, Tom, Al, anything else?
No.
If you're looking for an exciting career and you're up for the challenge, give us a call at the Arizona Sheet Metal Apprenticeship Office, 602-275-6511, and we would gladly assist and help you out and start off on a new career. Thank you.
And I have sent Mike and Cody here a brochure that we have. You guys will have it in your link or your description or something.
Perfect. So I'm excited to get into this Ferro though, so let's get to it.
All right.
We got a new guest with us, Jeff Holley.
How you
What's your
doing?
title over here at the hall, actually, Jeff?
Actually, the business manager, financial secretary, treasurer for Local 359.
I will not remember that. But
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm just starting. I've been there since 2015. I'm just now learning the name, so that's cool. Makes sense.
It took you 7 years.
So what do you do over here at the hall? I mean, what's your primary goal? What are you looking for?
Well, my responsibilities are the day-to-day, inner workings of the hall, making sure everybody's doing their jobs, making sure people get paid, that kind of stuff. So you just kind of run the show. As a union member, the goal is to expand and just basically provide for members. We're here as a resource. We're constantly organizing to get more members. And especially when we're talking about BIM, we have a major shortage right now. So that's why we went ahead and hired another instructor so we can get more people in here and start training from within. It's hard to find them, so we figured we might as well make them.
How many instructors do you have over here?
Right now we are up to 4, I think. Yeah, we got 4. We got Mike, Jim Burkett, Tom, and I guess, we got 3 full-time instructors, but I mean, Albert's also, he's a coordinator, but he can also do the instruction as well.
Yeah, and these are all top-tier guys of their trades and masters. And got all their little apprentices and they're going to make new masters, huh?
That's the hope.
Yeah.
I think we will.
That's awesome.
So Jeff, he helps us quite a bit too. I mean, we get into a bind, we're bidding against non-union or something. I mean, he'll help us out and get us paid regular, and still get the work. So
that's awesome.
I call him often.
Yeah.
And so under Jeff, I mean, the last 7 years, you said, I mean, our membership in union has grown exponentially. So it's been great. He's been doing great at his role.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a team effort, but I think a lot of it is just we just aren't. I don't want to say afraid, but necessity has dictated that we have to think outside the box rather than just like, oh, this is what we've always done. So I mean, just the current like economic environments, even when it was really bad and now it's really good, it's given us that opportunity to kind of really just start. Okay, now we have a little bit of money to do stuff with, so let's expand on these ideas that we've had, and let's do something different. So it's funny because when we go to like industry, like other union conventions and stuff, and we sit in on these, all this stuff that all these locals are like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're like, we're already doing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, just little Arizona, we're over here just like leading the way. So it's been fun.
Yeah,
it's been a lot of fun.
You guys, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Under promise, over deliver, right?
That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah. Don't make a big deal about it because there's more stuff to do.
There is.
Yeah. I've definitely seen the growth. I mean, I've been coming here with Mike going on 5-6 years now, and yeah, definitely in your BIM side, hiring Thom, that's a big move. I mean, this guy knows his stuff, and this whole setup we got going on here with all the equipment. Thom was showing me all the stuff you get as a new student. I mean, that's huge value right there, and I mean, but you can't replace knowledge, and the knowledge I think is a big seller there.
And that's the beauty of getting some of these instructors, like the other ones too, that have 3 decades of experience. Who better than them to teach these kids what's going on out there?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't learn this stuff in the books, a lot of it. So it's working out pretty good.
Very hands-on.
Yeah.
But even just going to some of the industries, like I just got back from Sacramento yesterday. Last night I went over Monday, and we're looking at a new fire life safety modular model that we can actually bring in inspectors, and we can show them like why fire dampers are really important. And like we've been telling them for years, like we actually train our city inspectors on fire life safety stuff to try to get them to. We've already got the codes already in place; they're just not enforcing them because they just don't know how important it is. But I looked at this training module that they got over there that we did through the Western states, which was us, California and Hawaii and Nevada, and it was, to me, it's like we're building one of those. We're going to do that here because now it puts it in front of them where they can see what it is. So what it is, they'll have like a smoke machine blow smoke into the room with the dampers not functioning properly to show firemen and inspectors why you need to make sure these things are functioning properly.
Right.
It's gonna be about it was impressive. I got some. I didn't get any video, but I'll show you guys some of the stuff that we saw. It was really cool.
Right on.
Super cool. It's gonna be about $150,000, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We always do.
And this is the kind of stuff you were talking about earlier too, Cody. Like, you don't get this kind of stuff everywhere. There's other outfits, they're not going to train you in that kind of stuff. We're trying to stay on top of all this technology, and it pays off for the members.
You're 100% correct. I mean, I went to a trade school to learn how to draw and draft and all that, and everything I've learned has been, hands-on through Mike and numerous other superintendents from the field.
Yeah.
That's a grind. That's a hard way to learn, the field from a computer screen. So being able to come here and learn it all, I mean, yeah. That you can't beat it, for sure.
An exciting time, like I keep saying, to be an apprentice.
Yeah.
I know. I wish I was starting now.
I know.
Of course, I'm kind of psyched that I'm getting closer to the end.
Yeah,
Right?
Me and you both.
Yeah. We all have it in our blood, right? You have family members that were
I'm third generation.
Third generation. You-
Second generation.
Yeah, my grandpa was in, my uncle, my cousins, Utah and Colorado, but yeah, I mean, we bleed galvanized, right? So,
Sheet metal.
Yeah.
No matter where you do it. So.
yeah.
I'm just here for the coffee and the good vibes.
Nice.
Yeah, so back to that. So again, we teach them some of this stuff, and it goes hand in hand with this. This is the Trimble Robotic Total Station. This is a model 773 in this case. And these contractors, almost all of the big contractors use this now to lay out hanger points, penetrations in the deck, in the walls even. So the guy out in the field, the Trimble operator, works hand in hand with the CAD guys. It's a concerted effort. And some of these good guys are able to lay out like 300 to 500 points a day, whereas in our day we were using plumb bobs and chalking lines and marking, and we'd get a couple dozen a day maybe. So it's come a long ways, and they didn't have this when I was out in the field. I wish they would have, but all I can do now is embrace it. And like I said earlier, we've been teaching even journeymen to how to use this so they can fill the calls when a contractor has a call. So very exciting times. It's basically a robot is what you're looking at there.
You can connect the Stormtrooper helmet to it, right?
Yeah, so what we have there is a HoloLens. And you guys have one of those as well, right?
Yeah, we do. So you just put it on, right?
Yeah.
Like Mike did earlier.
So this is augmented reality is what he's going to be looking at. You can view your project through this thing. So much like I was showing Navis on the screen here, you could be using that to do the same thing.
Exactly. And from my understanding, I can put this on and lay out points too.
You can lay out points.
So I don't have to sit there and look at the tablet and go, oh wait, move an inch, move 2 more inches. It'll just light up green when I'm on my point.
Yeah, so he would be eliminating the use of this with that. That's pretty cool stuff.
And I can use my hands now, which is super critical in the field, especially when you're trying to carry this big thing around, right?
Yes, that goes on there, and it gets cumbersome. Yeah, so that replaces that.
And you get to look cool, and everyone thinks you're like, you know, tripping out because you're touching all this stuff in space.
You look funny or cool, one of them, yes.
Yeah, I think both.
Yeah.
Go for it.
But no, that's again, so this is going to be taught here starting September. I mean, not right off the bat, you know, we only get these apprentices for a week at a time every 6 weeks, is it?
Yep.
So we got to teach this type of stuff and our basics. So they won't become a master of any of this in their first year, but we're laying the groundwork. So
It's exciting, man.
very exciting, very cool stuff. So I thought I'd set this all out. We touched base on this earlier as well. Me, Mike, and Jeff didn't get this when we were apprentices. We had to buy all of our own stuff. Now when you're a first year apprentice, you get all this stuff handed to you. So we're showing a basic drafting kit. Even though we do stuff on the computer, we still need to learn how to draw by hand. We have a handy dandy cheat sheet of all these formulas we use. But they even get a whole set of Milwaukee tools. We're in partners with Milwaukee and Lincoln.
Dude, I gotta rejoin the apprenticeship.
Yeah, I mean everything.
You got the old school delete button.
Delete with the eraser, yes. Various tools. They get a tool belt, even a welding hood and a jacket and gloves, which aren't here. All of this, as just for signing up as a first year apprentice.
That's awesome, man.
So we used to share all that stuff when we were apprentices, which is pretty gross now.
Yeah.
Now, in the age of COVID, you just can't do that stuff anyway. But
That's true.
now everybody gets their own setup and their own gear, so you're not sharing.
Yeah.
Which I think is good.
Very awesome stuff. So again, that's your first year, and it as an incentive, like they say, you get to your second year of apprenticeship because we're a 5-year apprenticeship. It's a grade-based apprenticeship. So if you get an A in your class, your tuition is free. So if you get a B, they cover a certain portion. If you get a C, they'll cover less. So it's a more of an incentive to get an A, of course, 90% or better.
So you go to college. You go to college, you come out with all this debt, making probably what, maybe 17 an hour. And you're saying you're going to pay your first year's 19?
19 to start.
And they're not coming out with that if they just show up to school and do their work?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's it.
And they're going to turn out at the current rate of, let's say, $40 plus an hour with no debt, making $80,000 to $100,000 a year.
Yeah, right now with all the hours that they're working, we were just doing some math, and you got guys that are going to be out at Facebook and TSMC that are going to be making almost $200,000 a year.
Yeah, more.
Because with the incentives and everything else, it's insanity.
Wow.
Because we're being 4082, and then I think they're talking at one of the auto plants are looking at doing $10 over scale. So the minimum right now is $5 over scale because they just can't get the workforce. So it's tough to stay in this office right now.
I was going to say you might need another instructor, Jeff. I'm going.
I'm heading out.
I still have my tools.
I said I'm waiting for the day when we walk in the office and everybody's gone.
Yeah.
With resignation letters on their desks.
So what happens if the guy quits? He gets all this stuff and then he leaves.
In a certain time, he has to turn it back in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We actually, because they're all
So they
given
sign
the
like a
iPads.
contract or
Yeah,
something?
exactly. They do they've got their education loan agreement, so that's part of it. If they do leave, they're going to return a certain amount of stuff. So
Right.
Yeah, so you can't just come down here if you want free tools. You got to actually want to be a BIM guy and, or a sheet metal worker. But
And actually, I didn't have that shown. Good thing you mentioned that. They also get an iPad. I mean, that's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's their iPad. So that's very cool stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, then the next piece of technology we're using here is a scanner, and I believe you guys mentioned you have the same one.
Yeah,
This is the Faro S70.
S70, yeah.
So what we use this for is, let's say you go into an existing building and you don't have any digital information about it, you can set this up, you can take a scan of it, and then bring it to your computer, and then you can model your revisions around it. You can even put this up above the ceiling and let it do its thing. You know, it's another awesome piece of equipment. How do you guys use it? About the same thing?
We do the same, and then something we've started getting into that you might want to think about teaching is scan to BIM, and taking that point cloud and then modeling, you know, architectural, all existing, whatever we need to coordinate around.
That's another service you guys offer?
Scan to BIM, yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, take the point cloud and create a model out of it in Revit.
yeah, one of our guys, Nick, I think he did a scan of his house, and then he just bought his first house, did a scan of it, and then he drew it in Revit. You know, cabinets and all. So that thing's awesome. And like you were talking about Navisworks earlier, you basically take the point cloud, bring it into Navisworks. I mean, a lot of the large semiconductor companies out here doing BIM, that's what they use. It's huge. So
Awesome. So that's another thing about technology. When I got my house, I measured everything by hand with a tape measure, drew it up because I thought that'd be cool, and this would save that whole process. So
yeah.
very cool. So then we got one more piece of technology over here. If you guys can make your way over.
Move together.
So what we have here is a mobile Cad Station. It's a field technology center, so the guys just call it the FTC. And basically you have a computer down here and you have this CAD software, in this case Navis. And the bigger companies will set this up on their projects so that the guys can go to it and use it as another tool, just like their snips, their hammer. They can do field coordination. Let's say they're, like I said earlier, they're flying around and they're trying to see why their duct is hitting some electrical that's up above the ceiling. A lot of times the conduit's hung in the wrong spot or something. This is just another tool for the guys to use instead of calling the office. Let's say they can't get a hold of somebody and saying, why is this happening? They can use this. The CAD guys will give them the latest model. And again, it's just another tool that we didn't have when we were younger. So most of the contractors have a bigger version of this. You know, we did a smaller version to teach on, but same concept. So again, just another cool tool at our disposal.
So this is something that a lot of contractors utilize, and you kind of just show the new guys that this is what they may or may not be using in a field environment for BIM.
That's what we do. And I mean, we'll actually have them come over here, do some hands-on, and I'll show them, hey, there's a collision here, why is this happening? And then they'll compare it to our CAD model and say, oh, that's why, because one of them's in the wrong spot. So then when they do get to the field, they'll, you know, even if it's a year later, they might be like, oh, I remember how to do this. And they can even show some of the older journeymen that have never been exposed to this. Hey, here's how you use this other tool at our disposal. Pretty cool stuff.
Definitely. I think I prefer the office though when it's 100 degrees outside. You know.
It's a dry heat, Cody. We talked about that.
That's true. We just came from New York, and 66 felt like 95.
Oh yeah,
man.
they're like, why are you sweating? You're from Arizona. I'm like, yeah, because I'm from Arizona. We don't sweat there. It dries by the time you produce.
The heat actually feels pretty good here. I think.
Yeah.
Like coming out of the airplane, I was like, this is the kind of heat I like.
Yeah, we do have it made.
Yeah.
But we're full. Don't move here if you don't live here already.
I was in D.C. for training last week as well. Same thing. Walking around, just sweating. But
Yeah.
Florida in July and August is pretty
same
awesome.
thing.
Well,
It's
speaking
like
of
breathing through a wet towel. It's just gross.
Yeah.
I'll take this heat any day.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
it's not bad. Speaking of sweating though, should we go see what they're sweating up in the
Let's
sheet
do
metal
that.
shop?
Let's do that. So here we're in the sheet metal shop. You know, we're showing you the technology side of things, but we are sheet metal workers first and foremost. So everybody, even if they take the BIM-based curriculum that's being offered soon, they still need to know how to make basic fittings. So right now the current students are making this square throat elbow, the most basic of fittings. And it started off with just like a blank piece of metal like that, flat piece of metal. They lay it out using the latest, you know, they're just basic layout tools. and then put it together. We use all the shop equipment. You know, what you're seeing here is a Pittsburgh. They need to know how to do that. It's just basic craftsmanship right there. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, this is more this gets more into the how, like, and you know, the why you do what you do in there. This is, you know, so I think this all leads up to basically why you end up when you get into the BIM, they already know what they're dealing with, and they know like what's actually going to work. And because you know, a lot of guys think you can do anything on a computer, and you pretty much can, but you have to know what's actually going to be feasible in real life. Like if you're going to choke an elbow way down, or you know, just do some crazy twist fitting that's never going to work, or you know, an offset's 18 inches and 6. You know, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, it'll cut it down. It's definitely better to know this. This will make you a better BIM guy. It'll make you a better field guy. You know, if you don't know the shop already, it'll make you. A lot of times, you know, guys in the field even, they'll need a fitting made real quick, and all they have is a flat piece of metal, so they need to come out and cut an offset or something. You know, out of the trailer or whatever. So.
True.
When was the last time you made your own fitting, Mike?
So, yeah, at Gore in Flagstaff, Kevin Huber, I was working for Kevin Huber, and we were working above the ceiling. Another story, I'm not going to go there, but we needed an offset, so because I worked in the sheet metal shop before, he had me go down and, you know, out in the grass, cut a piece of metal and make an offset for him, so.
You're such a badass, dude. Just I could picture you in the grass right there, just smoking, making some sheet metal cuts, banging it up. Man.
We all learned it, yeah. We all learned it in the apprenticeship here, so.
Yeah, I just cut my hand open. That's how that would end. But you're definitely right, the importance of that, because I was the guy making the crazy twist fittings and transitions, and you know, he had to teach me 30 degrees, the rules, all the different stuff. And there's so much to process. You know, you have to have a certain mind to understand that. So being able to see it hands-on, it's cool. I like it.
You get your time and a half radiuses and stuff like that. You just got to know that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's just stuff that we learn. You just don't forget it.
No, you don't.
Yeah, and it is cool to just start, like I said, with a flat piece of metal, use this various shop equipment, and end up with something like this.
And we're one of the only trades that actually does that.
Yeah.
You look at a lot of different trades that, you know, especially in the mechanical stuff, everything they do is they buy it off the shelf. And here, you know, ours starts in flat metal in a shop, gets made and installed. So back in the day, it would have been cool. It was before my time. It would have been cool to work for, you know, like my little brother used to work for a company, Thomas. They used to, you know, he'd go out and measure the job, go to the shop and make it, and go install it. I never had that opportunity. That would be pretty
cool.
sweet.
Even Bel Air, when they were smaller, used to do that. A few of the guys.
Just with worse tools.
Yeah.
I don't know. Thomas is probably pretty bad on tools too.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, we even have behind you here, we have a soldering station. So that's, you know, a small portion of our trade here. But when you do pans or gutters, using light gauge metal, it's not feasible to weld, so you solder. So that's a part of being a sheet metal worker right there.
Why is it all rusted though?
It's a lost art.
It's definitely a lost art, yeah. It's all rusted because of the nasty chemicals involved.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave that unscrewed for
a
couple hours. It'll rust real quick.
You don't see soldering much anymore? Or is that just in the sheet metal trade, or?
Well, when we do solder at this point, we're not using iron so much anymore. I mean, they're using newer technology, but that's usually more of an architectural thing. And just in Arizona, for whatever reason, our contractors don't do a lot of that. But if you go to you go back east, there's a lot of them. That's all they do, and they do a lot of this kind of work. And they'll still even whip this stuff out periodically just because they know how to.
Yeah.
We'll make it watertight or whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's our sheet metal shop.
And the oldest brake on the planet, evidently.
That's
what a brake used to look like.
That looks like something I'd see in my grandmother's farm back in the day.
I think that's where we got it. Yeah.
I think that's gonna be like an art project. I think we're gonna turn that into a piece and get it all fixed up and revitalize and put it over in our hall.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a nice looking, just an old memorabilia type of nostalgia that you got. So
history.
Right.
History. Yeah. But yeah, with that, we'll go to our next. We'll go to the tab lab next.
Yeah. So where are we, Tom? What is this room?
Okay, so now we're. Oh, sorry there, Cody. So now we're over here in the tab lab, which is testing and balancing. And so little bit of nostalgia, like Mike was saying earlier. This is where we actually went to apprenticeship, me, Mike, and Jeff. We didn't have that building over there, so we sat here and made it all happen. All that shop work equipment you saw over there was crammed over here. We did drafting over here. We laid out fittings. We did it all right here, and we made it work. But since then, we've converted this into a tab lab so guys can practice. And can't they get certified over here?
Absolutely.
Man? On testing and balancing. It's quite the certification process, but we're a certified facility to be able to do that. So we give them, what we did is give them various examples on ductwork and even piping over here, water, so they could practice what they do. You know, they have hoods, whatever else. I'm not too hip on the whole testing and balancing thing, but we gave them a nice facility to do their thing.
I think it goes into like some of the fire protection stuff. You got your fire smoke dampers. We've got the fire panel up on the wall over here, which is actually nicer than our actual fire panel for the building.
Yeah, true. True.
But you know, and that's complete mock-up. Everything you see in here is all. Usually, there's a computer actually right in here. It used to just sit on a table, but there's a computer in here that runs everything in this room. Is done computer-wise. But we're one of a handful of apprenticeships in the country that actually certifies people. So we get people from all over the country coming here to do their certifications.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
One thing I definitely noticed, I think it's super cool and important for people to see, is in a BIM world is all the different ways you've shown how unistrut and can be utilized, and pipe or duct or projectors can be supported. I mean, you got your unistrut hanging trapeze from those two. That one's trapeze from there. You're utilizing beam clamps here for your fire, and then you got the strut on the wall there for the conduit. I mean, it's a perfect in-field example of how it should be done. And I mean, even there with your pipes, that's so clean. I mean,
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, I like that you got pipe and electrical everything up in there. I mean, you got pipe running to the VAVs and everything. That's cool.
Even down to the colored jackets.
Yeah.
I like that because that was just a stroke of genius there. I didn't even think of it. You never see that like that out in the field.
Yeah.
But this, you know, usually you're just looking at the color of the stickers and the labels and stuff. And he went ahead and had these done so you knew exactly what we were looking at, what it was doing. Like the, you know, if you got hot water, cold water, chill water, whatever you got. So
That's cool.
it's a little bit
Even
of
got
a
the
point
good
of personal
ceiling.
pride for me is my older brother. He got into the apprenticeship after I did. He actually built most of this in here. He did most of this work.
That's right.
Him and another guy, Jeff Mosquito, did most of the work. So,
Really? Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff Mosquito and my brother Scott.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was, and he was in here. He's Captain Meticulous when it came to this. I was like, you better be. You're gonna have no machine workers around here looking at your stuff.
Right? That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to do in this small space. We gave them different examples of how we do stuff. You can see just right here we have square taps, round taps, boot taps, different types of registers. I think Cody was going to point out we even got a nice ceiling grid in here, and it shows the different types of diffusers and registers. And I mean, we pretty much crammed in everything we use in one little space.
Yeah, it's impressive, honestly. I've never seen anything like it.
I've been in several tab labs across the country, and I can tell you this one, I haven't seen one better than this.
Yeah?
Not even close. And when you get guys coming in here from like large locals like St. Louis, they're pretty impressed with their own tab lab, which it's a nice tab lab, don't get me wrong, but the work's not nearly as clean. Even the stuff that Bel Air's plumbers did over here, everything was super clean. They did a really good job. But yeah, when they saw it, they're like, man, we got some work to do. We got a lot of work to do.
I love it, man. This is nice.
But I mean, it literally, it's anything and everything that you're going to do in a testing, adjustment, and balancing, scenario. It's in here. So it's, I mean, we've got a really good apprenticeship program here. We just got our accreditation. So I don't know if Albert probably already told you, but we just earned a platinum accreditation, which we've been gold for a while. So we've always done well there. But to get a platinum is that's not something they just hand out. So there's a.
No, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Very nice.
So like I said, I think they've done a bang up job over here, and keep doing it. That's all I got to say.
Looking good,
Keep
man.
doing it.
Good job.
Yep, so that's the Tab Lab.
Yes, sir.
Accredited facility.
This is our fire life safety for fire smoke dampers and fire dampers. Basically, just the importance of what these are in a building. So essentially, what these do is if you get there's a fire damper here, it's got a fusible link in it. If a fire starts and you get the heat in here, this will melt at a certain temperature, and this will drop. A curtain will drop, and it'll stop oxygen. For if the fire's over on this side of the wall, oxygen will not be feeding into that side of the wall anymore. So you've got failed to close and failed to open. So failed to close, is like when it fails, it closes to keep from feeding a fire. When it opens, it's on an exhaust system getting that smoke out. So it's evacuating all the smoke out. That's why these are important to make sure that they do exactly what they need to be doing when, because along the fire corridor, your first responders can't get in if there's nothing but smoke in there, and people can't get out. So that's why it's a stairwell pressurization, fire dampers, all that stuff really it's a major thing you got to have in here. So what we have is a bunch of examples of things that are done wrong, so that students can see like you don't do this. And we go up to like we're going to the Greenheck facility who actually makes these fire dampers. Ruskin, Greenheck, there's some other ones, but those are the main ones we use. But I was up there 5 or 6 years ago with Albert, and they've got a big like solid wall that they've got with like every kind of damper, and they're all supposed to be in there installed right. And we were looking at them, and Albert found one and these are the manufacturers that they did incorrectly.
Really?
And they've been showing people this, and no one had ever caught it. They're like, it's been there for years, no one's ever seen that. And now it's like, you can't do that. You can't do that. And the guy's like, oh my God.
And he was probably so cocky about it too.
He's still talking about it.
Oh, I gotta ask him. I gotta hear this story.
I can't believe he didn't bring it up. But there's a bunch of different nuances. Like they had theirs, I think what they had was when you do a fire damper, it goes through a studded wall. Well, the studs have to be solid around it. And that's when it had the holes in the stud. He's like, oh, you can't have that. So, and of course, he'll never let him forget it. I'm sure it'll come up when we go up there in August.
Yeah, he's going to look for it.
So you could have a perfectly fire-rated building, the walls are fire-rated, everything in the shop, but if that one piece of equipment fails, that all goes out the window.
It all goes out the window for you.
Yeah, that's pretty critical.
Yep.
So,
And that's what we're trying to explain to that's why we educate the city inspectors on why they need to be looking at these things. But that's where that other module that I was just talking about comes into play is that'll actually show them exactly why these are important. Like what happens when one fails and why you don't want to be walking into that building. And then even that module even has like stairwell pressurization where you can't even open a door. Right. With just a slight adjustment in pressure, you can't open a door. So if somebody was trying to get out of a building and there's a fire behind them and they go to that door and they can't open it, well, they're going to stop because they're like, oh, something must be there. I must not be able to go there. And they're going to try to find another way out. Well, that was the way out. They just can't get out now. So it's
it's scary.
Things to think about. I think the MGM Grand fire, I think, taught a lot of people lessons, but it's sad to say we forget. They lost almost 100 people in that fire.
It's bad news.
Due to a bad damper.
Yeah, they had bad dampers, and they had a bunch. It was a myriad of failures. It was bad stairwells, pressurization. There's dampers that weren't working. And what it is they'll be installed correctly generally, but maintenance guys will come through there because something's not working right or something's. And they'll go like, oh well, this thing closed. Well, instead of like looking at the actuator and finding out what happened, they'll prop it open and then put a stick in it or a screw, and then it'll never work. And I mean, I did work at Chandler Regional Hospital, and out of 300 that we inspected, they failed at an 85% rate.
Wow.
That's scary. Especially a hospital. Not good.
We replaced we literally replaced 85% of the first 300, and they were like, okay, well we're done. We're not going to look at these anymore. I was like, yeah, we'll just pretend it's not happening.
Dang.
But it was like 2x4s holding up the damper, screws shut in there. You'd undo the linkage, prop it open. You're just like, it was crazy.
How often are they inspected, or are they not? Is that the issue?
It's supposed to be inspected in a hospital every 4 years, which I don't understand that, because in a regular building it's supposed to be every year. But in hospitals they only do it every 4 years, which to me seems like that doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's because there's, again, this is going to sound really silly, but because there's so many in a hospital. Have you ever done a hospital, ever worked in one?
It's everywhere.
There's so many of them. It seems like I get the expense, but I mean, if you just had a guy do it, you could put a guy on staff that knows what he's looking at. He can just do that for a job for his career.
Time.
And once he gets to the other end of the hospital, just come on back and start over again. But
and another beauty of this board here is, even goes back to the modeling. It's nice for the modelers, like me and Cody talked about earlier, to be able to see how these actually should be installed. There's set distances. They need to be far, from the wall. You got to have your angles on there, and you got to plan that when you're modeling your ductwork.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives you a nice visual of that.
Yeah, I mean, I was always that guy that tried to run the pipe, right here, and you got
Exactly.
that. Oh, your duct's only this big, I fit,
There's an actuator on
Yeah,
there
and
too.
then the opening in the wall is going to be a certain size, and it's all based off of the spec provided by the damper, though. You don't just
There's a UL rating that tells you, it's an 1/8 inch per linear foot, so you got to have that much space all the way around it, so they can put the right amount of fire caulking in there and stuff like that. So, and that's a lot of guys will think like, oh, you just set it on the bottom. Well, no, you got to actually you got to hang it so where it's not touching on the bottom or on the top or the sides. It's got to be actually in there. But I mean, I've had guys, and it was amazing to me, and that's why we've taken. Like ever since I got on staff, this was kind of my pet project, because when I was out in the field and I started working at hospitals. The last 2 big jobs I was on was in the hospitals, and I was just alarmed at how many of our guys didn't know how to install a fire damper correctly. And it was like, you guys realize these are like seriously important.
Very.
And so every one of these comes with their UL their UL rating and the directions on how to put them in there. So every guy that was doing dampers, I would actually highlight all the information they needed to know, and I would hand it to them so they'd have it with them. And still there would be some mix-ups, but it seemed to alleviate some of the problems. I think education was just the key to let them know now and really dwell on it, so when they leave, they know.
Yeah, no, education of the importance is key, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think I ever gave away a penetration for a damper without checking with you first. Even air handle on the roof, any penetration. I think quality control checking, make sure always having someone check your work, no matter how long you've been doing it, how good you are.
Yeah, we always say it's not a mistake unless it leaves the office a mistake, and then it's serious, right? Because it gets to the field, it could be thousands of dollars.
Or lives.
But if we take that, if we take that extra step and make sure everything's done correctly in the office, then it'll be good.
Want to head to the weld?
In case you guys have not met her yet before, we have the one and only Carly in the house with us. She's usually hiding behind the camera, but we got her here today. She's going to try out some welding with us. And I think, Tom, you're going to show her how to do the virtual weld and then maybe some real welding?
Yeah, so what's going on? We're in the actual weld classroom. This is where they actually learn about the nuts and bolts of welding, maybe a little soldering and brazing demonstrations. But first, the students will have this virtual welder. Again, that's another thing me, Mike, and Jeff did not have. But it kind of gives you the practice and theory on how to weld before we go to the weld shop. So it's literally a virtual welder. It shows, you can have different backgrounds. So this is showing we're on some iron work. This is going to be, we're using 70-18 rod, 1/8 inch. We got MLP in here. And so we're going to be not filling this gap, but we're going to be laying a root pass on here. And so this is what it's going to do is gauge her position, arc length, work angle, and travel speed. So generally we have the students, they need to get a score of 90 or better before they can go to the actual weld shop. So we're going to see how Carly does here.
See if I can do it.
What you have here is an actual stinger if you were out in the field. And this auto adjusts like your burning rod. So it gives you that your whole feel of actually burning rod. So you can see here, she's filling in that, not filling it in, but laying a root pass right there. This is showing how she's doing. Pretty good. Actually really good. And then she's completed her root pass. So we end pass, and she got an 85. Excellent.
Hey, Carly.
That's very good.
Look at that work angle.
Yeah, so this is showing all the colors mean something.
That means straight down the line. Pretty
That's good stuff right there. The hardest one, is the yellow, is the arc length. That's just being able to do it all day, every day. Those guys get dialed in on that, just like anything.
Yeah.
Also by sound, they hear it.
The sound, yeah. But 85.
Carly, you set the bar high.
Yeah, so now we'll have, who else wants to try it now?
Somebody's got to beat me.
All right, I'll try it.
All right, so now we'll have Cody try it. So I'm going to reset the stinger here. You'll see that this goes automatically back out, like we're putting a whole new stick of rod in there. Okay. New coupon, and it's ready to go.
Got my hood on.
It's got his hood on.
You put your elbow down. Oh, I see. That might help.
like striking a match at first. Yeah.
Is it going? There it goes.
Okay, so now we'll end, see what you got here. Had a couple blips, looks like my EKG I got the other day. 82.
Carly, you got it.
That's respectable. Hey, you know, very respectable.
Get better each time, right?
Yeah.
I think earlier when we were in here playing around, I got a 70 something. So it's
Yeah, it's true.
Getting better.
So Carly jumped up like 20 points. She's gonna be a pro here.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to join the apprenticeship.
I'm gonna do some welding.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's, you know, as you can see, it's a very cool thing where you're not actually burning rod and using consumables. We're able to just do this so they get the basic theory before they go out next door. And we partnered up with Lincoln for all this stuff, kind of like we did Milwaukee for the tools, and they've helped us out.
Yeah, Vern
Quite a
Lewis and
bit.
Lincoln, absolutely.
Yeah.
They give us first crack at the equipment when they get it.
Yeah.
So we get a substantial discount on it, so it's nice.
Very nice. And they're, yeah.
And Mike's just walking around with the camera showing off the whole shop right here.
Yeah. So there's some finished product that some of the students have done.
It's those little U-shaped ones. That's where they've done a bend test on a structural weld. You have to do that bend test without your weld cracking.
Really?
And that's what they do is like that weld that you just did. They'll fill up that entire gap in a vertical position. You know, yeah. And you're always welding uphill. You start
Like that
bottom
over
to
there?
top.
Yeah, it sounds
Like that stuff
lovely.
up there?
Yeah. It sounds like it's probably a craft of its own.
It is.
Not
It
everyone
is.
can probably do that.
No.
Definitely. So one of our other instructors here is actually a CWI, which is a certified weld instructor. He's nationally accredited, and people come from all over to be certified by him.
Really?
So that's another boon to our hall. We've never had that before.
Yeah, definitely.
We used to have to go elsewhere to get certified, so we have that now at our disposal. Yeah, you want to head next door?
Oh, this is the real deal now.
Yeah, so this is the real deal. So I'll go get that hood, but unless somebody else can get it. Who's not all
I
mic'd
can.
up? Are you mic'd? In that jacket, maybe. Are we going right now? Okay, so now we're actually in the weld shop. This is actually the same from when me, Mike, and Jeff went. Hasn't changed. And this is where the students get to practice their welding. So right here we have a MIG welder. We have stick over there. We have TIG, you know. So we can do all different types of metal. So we're gonna have Carly here practice this. Again, this is a MIG welder. It's a wire welder.
Nice height. Somebody tighten those.
There we go. You got it? Tell me when.
That's good.
Okay.
Don't look at that.
And then, yep. Yeah, exactly.
I'll do this around the corner. I wonder if I can get.
And so what you're gonna do, you've got the theory now before, you're kind of holding this like you were before, but on this one it's wired. So you're gonna be pushing a button and you'll see it start to arc in your thing, and you're gonna be trying to work that puddle across here. And you can kind of go back and forth, or you can just kind of pull it. But you're gonna see a molten lava of metal, and you're just gonna try to pull it across like this. So,
Make sure your helmet's down before you start.
yeah.
But get up close to it, know where you're at, and then what you can do.
Well, I think you can see through this hood, right?
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's auto darkening.
Oh.
It's come a long way since the old days.
Right on.
Yeah, so you can get over here, and now you can put the hood down. Okay, so you're gonna take this right here,
Okay.
and you're gonna kind of hold it at an angle to it,
Like this.
kind of like that. Yeah, get a little bit closer, and then you push the button, and it'll start arcing. Yeah, don't be scared. And then you just kind of drag it across. You get there? Okay, hold on. So then that happens sometimes. I'll cut the wire off for you. Can't see.
That's that good pair.
There we go. So we'll take a look at that. So as you can see, it's a lot harder doing it for reals than virtually.
Yeah.
So again, it's just practice. It's going by the sound. Like Jeff was saying, it sounds like frying bacon. That's good. But first time, she's got 2 pieces of metal to stick together. See? It's not coming apart.
Dang.
Got some penetration there. So you actually welded 2 pieces of metal together. You can take it home, put it on the refrigerator. Yeah. But yeah, that's basic welding. Does Cody or Mike want to try this?
No.
Okay.
No, I mentioned earlier I'll find out when I take my hand off. So. Yeah, they need me. They need these.
I got you. But anyway, so that's, again, wire welding. We do stick welding. We have a TIG welding. Not quite set up for that for today, but that gives you the basic idea.
All right, welcome back to the CAD lab. I think we lost Al. He's
We
on the
did.
phone,
Yeah.
recruiting more apprentices.
Yep.
Mike's hiding behind the camera. Carly's back behind the camera.
It's just me and you, Cody.
Just me and you. So, yeah, I'm tired. I'm ready for lunch. I think Thom is too. So I'll let him wrap it up with a quick closing and get out of here.
So yeah, we just gave you guys a tour of everything we're offering here. I mean, it's a little bit of everything. Hopefully we piqued some interest. I'm glad you guys were here. Thanks to MLP and Mike. We've had a good partnership going, and hopefully we continue along with Cody, and hopefully you guys had fun.
Yeah, definitely. Don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe. You guys have a good day.
Peace out.